The Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show.
Boss in the Sauce Show. Here we go.
And we're going to move it on over into that team that I'm talking about, which is Air Force. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, we got Troy Calhoun over here, 16th year here at Air Force. He's 111 and 75 overall. He has Mike Thiessen as offensive coordinator, Brian Noor at defensive coordinator. It's not much to say about the coach personally himself, other than he continues to run the tradition of the school effectively. And, it's not like these guys could be great recruiters or anything like that. But, he does what he does. He's 111 and 75 is not bad. He competes at a nice level, especially for being a military team. And those who cap more sports, especially college football, you understand the restrictions of the military team and how that goes. But quick shout out to J Money in the chat, though, man. I thank you for pulling up, man. But I guess everybody know if I'm talking Mountain West, I'm talking business. So let me look into 2021 season for Air Force, which was really great. They were a really strong team. They beat Boise State last year, and they look pretty decent. They did what they did. 31 points a game, 327 on the ground, only 95 in the air, but they did it effectively. The defense held teams to 19.8 points a game, only 102 on the ground, and also 194 in the air. So on paper, you got like a shutdown defense, coming in here. And then excitingly enough, he receives a lot of players back this year. He gets 9 on offense and 6 on defense. Now, anyone who knows anything about the military teams know these players usually have like a 2-year turnover, but because of COVID, because of new rules and all that kind of stuff, we finally get a Air Force team that we got a 3rd-year quarterback coming back in Zeke Daniels. And if this guy could improve even 10% better than last year, knowing the system, how he knows it, and his throwing ability and his ability to make plays on 3rd down, this team can take the Mountain West. Now at running back, of course, they have 4 rushers for attack. You know how they roll with the option offense, and at wide receiver, they get the tandem Kyle Patterson and Dane Kinman. They return. Now, Patterson was a big target, like I said, on 3rd down. You found this guy slowly moving across the middle to get deep 19-yard first downs and stuff like that out of Kyle Patterson. So this guy knows how to get open. Now, one interesting fact, everybody, take heed and take note, and I guess this applies for all the military teams, is the military has allowed a new rule allowing military members to have more weight according to their duty in the military. Therefore, the offensive linemen and defensive linemen are going to be okay to weigh more or be bigger and heavier in the inside. So if you figure in a team like Air Force, who ran the option really, really well, 327 yards a game last year, is allowed to take those same players who are coming back as they returned 7 starters from 2021 that are allowed to get bigger and stronger and come run that same offensive attack, which I think would be really hard for some teams to close the gap on going into 2022. What do you think about all this, Big Ragu?
I didn't know that. That's a real interest. That adds a whole nother dynamic if they're able to get these kids up to speed. I mean, playing in the conference that they're playing, now you're talking, not for recruiting purposes, but for athletic ability, which, our guys, salute to our kids in the service. They're already going to be in top shape form, and then, they're going to add more muscle. They're not going to have fat. They're going to add muscle on top.
Right.
So, it's going to bring another dynamic. I like that. That's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. But I mean, I don't think it's going to skew the numbers that much more in conference for these guys, because they have the number 1 rushing attack in the Mountain West. And they're ranked, and in defense, they're ranked number 2 on the defensive side. So it's crazy. And number 1 in yardage and number 4 nationally in points per game. They're allowing like 19 points a game. So their physicality is going to get stronger. the discipline's definitely there. And you're talking about Daniels, Zeke Daniels. He's the only kid in college football to have a 94-yard run and a TD and a 92-yard pass TD, which is amazing. And look for the academies to mix it up a little bit more, like you said. This kid, he's real athletic, and with the third down conversions, we're so used to seeing them, run the option. They had the 1,400-yard rusher. And then they got three other kids that combined for 1,400 yards for rushing for three combined, and then 1,352 yards rushing for Brad Roberts. So, you talk about 3,000-yard rusher season for the number one team in the country, leading the rushing attack. I mean, you know what they're going to do. Can you stop them? That's the thing. And that's where the physicality and the discipline comes into play with this team. So, yeah, you don't have an argument for me. I think they could very well win the Mountain West, the Mountain Division, and get to the championship game. So I like this team a lot. This is a team we usually get behind in certain spots, especially when it comes, for the X's and O's. So, yeah, I like Air Force. I like what they're all about. I like what they do. And, they're a fun team to watch play football, especially when they play a little bit out of conference, when teams don't see that kind of look. I mean, when they play, even though, like you say, we looked at teams in the ACC, like Georgia Tech, they used to run it. Now they don't anymore. But these teams that are not used to seeing the option, that's when your handicapping's really got to be on point. For the other teams that see them year in, year out, they're kind of used to it. But can they stop them? Do they have the personnel to deal with them? But Air Force is going to win a lot of games this year.
Yep, and just in case y'all didn't know, my man Big Ragu does really well with the Armed Forces game. He has a lot of insight and a couple tricks up his sleeve when it comes to the Armed Forces. So we talking real business today. But even also on the defense, he get to return 6 on the defense that did great. He's only losing 1 on the line, which could easily be replaced. He's only losing 1 at linebacker, which is easily replaced, and he's also only losing 1 at the defensive back positions as well. So they get all that great defense back. Experience always helps the team. These guys are older, more focused. They got more time on the experience on the field right now. I mean, everything just looks so well for the Air Force this year. They're returning 15 starters in total. 8 of those are seniors, and they're coming off of a great season. So the sky is definitely the limit for Air Force this year. I would say if you can get anything plus 200 or more for Air Force to win the Mountain West, go for it. I don't know what it is right now, but if you can get double your money or more, go for it. It's a really good, exciting look. But being that they brought them in at number 2 in the Mountain West, they may know it as well. So we'll see if they adjust.
So they rank number 2 overall in the Mountain West, or just in the Mountain Conference?
In the Mountain.
Okay,
yeah,
so that's what you talk about, betting them in the Mountain, the division.
Yeah, mostly in the Mountain. Yeah, but we're gonna keep it a wrap right there. You got any closing notes on Air Force?
No, that's pretty much it. You hit them all. I got that middle part, where, like I say, just to reiterate what you were saying, and a lot of the numbers, and the talent. That's a great angle on the addition of the weight, because that's going to amount to muscle mass and more physicality for this team.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and move on over into last year.